Hi there, this is Craig Beck, the Stop Drinking Expert. Welcome into today's video, and I've made this today because I got an email from one of my online course members, and she said to me, look, I'm asking this question. I kind of know that it's not real, but it feels real, so I'm going to ask it anyway. And she's questioning my statement that there is no benefit to alcohol at all. Not one single benefit to drinking alcohol. And I understand that when you're in the loop, it genuinely really feels like there is a benefit and alcohol is giving you something of worth. Because if that wasn't the case, you simply wouldn't use it. You don't use stuff that has no benefit to you. And so I get that it feels real. And back when I was a drinker, I used to believe that alcohol helped me get to sleep at night, used to help me relax at the end of a long day, used to help me be more sociable and confident. I used to believe all that nonsense. And it is nonsense. Not one single one of those justifications for drinking alcohol has any sort of validity. Now, what this lady is saying is, look, there are certain things, mundane tasks that I don't particularly enjoy doing that need to be done that are better when I've had a drink. And she says, things like mowing the lawn. And she says, I do it diligently, I concentrate, I do it better when I've had a drink than when I'm sober. And of course, when you're outside the bubble looking in, you can look at a statement like that and rip it apart and say, well, that doesn't make any sense. How can you take something that is proven to interfere with the processing of information in your brain and claim that you can do tasks better when you drink? It doesn't make any sense. And what I have to keep reminding myself is what it feels like to be in that bubble, to be in that loop where it does genuinely feel real. And you go back many thousands of years, people used to believe the earth was flat. They didn't just think it, they believed it. Because for all the evidence they had before them, that's how it appeared. They didn't doubt it. But it doesn't matter how certain they became in their beliefs or how adamant they were that the earth was flat. At no point did it become reality. It was always incorrect. And, I'm not singling out this lady here because it's very common. And I do very occasionally meet people who make statements like, but Craig, I genuinely drive better when I've had a drink. And the chances are you'll meet people who have this belief. And, if you question them on it, they'll say, no, but with me it's true. I know a lot of people, get involved in accidents because of alcohol, but with me it actually enhances my driving. I drive much better when I've had a drink. Ask anyone. And they believe it. And so let's talk about why that belief happens. And let me tell you that I've been helping people with problem drinking for 10 years now. And every day I hate this horrible, narcissistic, evil, insidious drug just a little bit more. Because it has the power, despite what the marketing, despite what the Western world says, it has the power to take intelligent people and have them look at something that's black and call it white. To have it look at something that doesn't make any sense and make perfect sense to them. This is just a narcissistic, horrible, nasty drug, and it kills 3 million people every year, and I hate it every day a little bit more. So here's the thing. When you drink alcohol, parts of your brain cease to function as they're supposed to. And we sometimes label this as giving us confidence because we do things that we wouldn't do when we weren't, when we were sober. We approach the guy or girl that we're attracted to. We just go for it. And we believe that the alcohol gave us confidence. Or we do the scary thing that we just couldn't quite get ourselves to do when we were sober, but we do it when we've had a drink. And therefore, we come up with phrases like Dutch courage. And we falsely believe that alcohol makes us more brave, more courageous, more confident. And the truth is this: alcohol makes us more stupid and less aware. In our sober lives, we are aware of millions of pieces of information going on at any one time. We are risk assessing life on an instant by instant basis. And here as a sober man talking to you, I am acutely aware of any risk that surrounds me. When you're under the influence of alcohol, that vision becomes narrowed down. So now you're only aware of the risk of what is in this field of vision. Anything happening out here, your brain hasn't got the power to consider it. And so it has to pick something to focus on. And that means that you will do things that are perhaps not in your best interest, that perhaps don't serve you, or perhaps are just plain stupid because you haven't got the brain power to be able to assess the situation correctly. And so you charge in regardless. And, you know, I live in Cyprus, which is a Mediterranean island off the coast of Greece and Turkey, if you don't know where it is. And there's a party town here. It's about 40 minutes from my house. It's called Ayia Napa. Any Brits watching will know about Ayia Napa, but perhaps it's not so famous in other parts of the world. Now, every year in Ayia Napa, at least 2 or 3 young guys die attempting to jump from one balcony to the next to impress the girls. They come in 2 a.m. after a night drinking and clubbing, and they try and impress the girls by jumping from one hotel balcony to the next. Does anyone think that they are really, really courageous people? Does anyone think that that is a supreme act of bravery? Or is it stupidity? That's what alcohol gives you. Stupidity. Reduced brain function. And so to this lady who says she mows the lawn better when she's had a drink, if you want to put a filter on that statement so you can see the reality of what you're saying to me, imagine for me, you need an operation. It's a serious operation. And you go to hospital and you're lying in your bed just waiting to be taken down to the operating theatre. And at that point, the consultant who is going to be doing the operation, the surgeon, comes to see you to see if you're okay and to explain what he's going to do. And as he approaches your hospital bed, you notice in his hand he has a bottle of vodka. And he's swigging from it as he's walking towards your bed. And as he gets to you, he notices your concerned expression. And he says, "Oh, listen, don't worry about this. I actually operate much better when I've had some of this." Does that reassure you? Do you think, "Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense"? Or do you think, "Get me the hell out of this hospital"? And so while you may believe that you mow the lawn better when you've had a drink, that is like saying gravity doesn't exist on a Tuesday. It's just nonsense, because if you believe that alcohol helps you operate dangerous machinery better, you are on a fast track to finding out very painfully that you are wrong. It doesn't. All that happens is, look, you know, you'll meet these people who say, "I genuinely drive better when I've had a drink, when I'm drunk." And the reason they say that, the reason they believe it, is because normally when you drive, it is what's called a rote action of the brain. It is memory muscle. It's an action you've done so many times that you don't have to consciously think about it anymore. That's why my daughter's 18 years old. She lives in the UK. She's currently learning to drive. And she says, "Dad, this is crazy. There's so many things you have to do at the same time. You've got to put the clutch down. You've got to use the brake and the accelerator. You've got to use the steering wheel and the gear stick. And I can't do it all at the same time. How do you ever learn to drive without it being torture?" And the answer, of course, is eventually you do it so many times it becomes an automatic process. You know, the very act of moving your finger from here to the tip of your nose requires the coordination of about 57 different muscles in a very specific order. You know, if you had to consciously think about that and move each muscle, how long would it take you to just do that? But you do it like that, don't you? It's automatic. And so driving becomes this automatic process that doesn't require a lot of thought. Now, when you've had a drink, because you haven't got the brain power anymore, you haven't got the capacity to do what once was easy, now you have to really concentrate. You have to really focus. Instead of just daydreaming and thinking about what you're going to have for dinner, when you're driving while you're drunk, you have to give it your 100% attention, otherwise you're going to die. And so you focus and you take corners consciously. You are aware of every little detail of the journey. You accelerate to the precise because you have to focus. Otherwise you're going to crash, and your brain knows this. And then you successfully end the journey. You got lucky. And your perception, your memory of it is, wow, I drove so well. I was so focused. I was so concentrated. I was so centered on what I was doing. I drive great when I've had a drink. Bullshit. Bullshit. Your brain had to adapt and come up with a way to keep you alive. You didn't drive better. You got away with it. And one day that statement will no longer hold true. One day you will be proved wrong that you do not drive better when you're drunk. You do not mow the lawn better when you've had a drink. It is a lie. There is not one single benefit to alcohol. Not one. Thank you for watching. If you have questions, please email me, craig@craigbeck.com. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, like and comment. I love it when you do that. I always try and get back to you. And hey, if you're worried about your drinking, stop putting this off. Why don't you do something about it? Join me today for a free coaching session. I'll even give you a free copy of my ebook, Alcohol Lied to Me. Go to the website right now, stopdrinkingexpert.com, and I'll see you in the coaching session. Thanks a lot.